What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. We're on the Year 7 Season 2 PTS, and we're going to check out a brand new set that's come into the game. We're going to check out the Tipping Scales gear set. So don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let's get straight into it. Right, okay, so I was immediately hyped for this, probably more so than anything else. The machine pistol I thought was quite novel. I've not checked it out in detail yet, but I kind of don't think it's going to hit. But I was really hoping that the Tipping Scales gear set would hit really well, because we can get 30% extra magazine size, 30% LMG damage, and then if we use the chest and backpack for them talents as well, we can actually get an extra 300% critical hit damage. Now that sounds like an insane amount, and it is, it's a lot, but it does have diminishing returns. The value is not quite as big as what you would imagine, or the damage from that value is not quite as big as what you would imagine. But the question is how good is this really in comparison to just running it like this with the striker set, which I often do with my pestilence. Or if we're going really hard, you know, we've got the Lengmore loadout that hits incredibly hard and also does a lot of damage with the pestilence stacks as well. So we'll put the pesty on, although that's not the the highest damaging LMG in the game. I am interested to see how hard the pestilence hits, because we do have that flat out 3-piece bonus that gives us 30% LMG damage, which is part of the reason why Lengmore is so good. And then it's obvious then just to go with Contractor's Gloves. And I've just gone Foxes, not for any particular reason here, just for some damage to target out of cover. There's probably many other options that you could slide in instead. Just off the top of my head, like we were talking about before in a previous video, LMGs and Tinkerer are very good. So you could put the Tinkerer on and then go with tipping, I want to say tipping point all the time, but tipping scale knees instead. But I have kind of tried this out already, and I'm going to go to Lincoln Memorial. This is the cheat stage, right? People are always so fed up of me testing in Lincoln Memorial, but for this purpose it's absolutely perfect, because we do not get enemies so close together in any other mission so easily, right? So we can put it on heroic, and at the bottom you can see that underneath my ammo we've no stacks at the moment. So what you need to think about is, you know, how well would this stack in a mission where the enemies aren't quite as available as they are in Lincoln Memorial. So we're only hitting for 600k, and the stacks got to about half. But there's definitely no way that you're keeping them going into another area. But you know, our damage is already, yeah, it's pretty, 600k is pretty low for, you know, standards of an LMG build. I was actually trying to suppress him then. So now we've got a couple suppressed. We can kind of fire around. Keep him suppressed. Alright, so we got the stacks up pretty high. But again, we're only at 800k. Which is it's still pretty rough. It already doesn't feel like it will keep up with strikers, and the problem is with strikers is it also builds stacks quicker than what this does. Do I really want to be forcing enemies, you know, in to suppression? Which makes it harder with the pestilence, because I am actually going to do this. The ticks are going to kill things. But I'm look at this point now, I'm severely under damage.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Oof.
Out of action.
And you continue to lose stacks while you're down as well. They're even firing into a chunga, and we're still only kind of at half stacks. I'm just not doing the damage I'm used to doing. You know, and you know that was pretty much the kind of experience that I've been having across other content in the game, where getting to half stacks is pretty lucky. You know, getting anything above half, like I did in that second area where we were very, very close together, was kind of the best I've actually done across any content in the game. And for instance, if I flip off this now, and I'm going to put this on, I'm just going to go into the next area and just kind of shoot something. And it doesn't have to be glass cannon. You could quite easily have obliterate on instead. In fact, I'm not going to use that because that is just going to, you'll have to take my word for it, like one shot and it's just going to start outpacing the build that we just had on very, very easy. But if I put Striker's Pestilence on, I mean, look how much quicker I'm killing things already. I'm hitting for 200k more already at this point. I have a slightly faster rate of fire, regardless of the 20% extra mag size. You can just tell, you know, nearly 900k there. My striker stacks, you know, in that area 3/4. So just easier to do. And you know, this is not really to the detriment of the set being bad. It isn't. But what it does have a problem with is how good Strikers is. And that's the same issue that Heartbreaker had. And I still think Heartbreaker loses stacks too quickly. Although Heartbreaker does come in useful. But to look at it from, you know, a different perspective, we'll kind of put this one back on for a second. If you're running a more of a blue build, then that damage, that critical hit damage, is going to be worth way more to you. So there is that as well. So if you're running some kind of survivability build with this, you know, you're going to get a little bit more from it in that scenario. But the question is, what could we do to make this better? Well, I think first of all, the easiest thing to do would be to test, because we are in, you know, obviously in PTS, would be to lower this here, the stacks lost. I certainly think it could be half quite easily. It feels like it could be 3 stacks and that still be, you know, a pretty decent stack loss if they don't want you to have it carrying across areas. But then what I would also consider, and I don't know where I would put this, is we saw how long it takes to get the stacks up. So, you know, increase the maximum number of stacks from 50 to 75. So what's really odd about this is if we go and look at Strikers, you can see here that it only has to stack up to 50. And I think that in where lies the difference, because if I wore Strikers and I put the Strikers chest piece on, that's 100 stacks at that point. If we go here, you know, up to 100 times. And that feels more in line with what the tipping scales is kind of doing. But I feel like one of the talents could reduce that value. If they didn't want to reduce it just here, you know, it just doesn't feel right. Something feels very off. Like shooting builds stacks to a max of 50. It seems to take me way longer to get to 50 because of how vicious this losing the 6 stacks were. So maybe I'm taking it overkill by saying that we need to reduce these stacks, because 50 is not a lot. And like I said, with strikers, to 50 stacks, we get there way easier and way quicker. So maybe it is simply just the fact that we lose the stacks too quick. And obviously with strikers, you know, 1 stack is lost per second. 1 stack is lost per second. 2 stacks is lost per second between 50 and 100. I mean, it kind of feels like, you know, the 50 maybe should just be 1 second. Maybe the 75 should be 2 seconds. You know, I don't know, like it feels very harsh. And maybe that's why. And maybe it's not a stacking issue. Maybe we don't need to reduce the stacks. But the 6 is just too much. It needs to be maybe 2, 3. Now that I've reread that and gone over it again. And that's why it's tough to make any. I've got a lot of comments saying, make this video, try this build, try this. And that's why it's tough to try anything on it, because it's just so hard to get to that cap that I just don't think that this set is going to hit if it comes out as it is right now, unfortunately. I just think it needs a significant change in either the amount of stacks that we've got to do or the stacks lost. Also, obviously the stacks lost is what's making it feel so hard to just get to 50 stacks. Like, if we were going off strikers and how nice they were being with us here, it really needs to be significantly lower. And that's going to be it for the video, unfortunately. That's what I was running. The stats have now changed because I did change things about, but put that in there like that. So that's what I was running. I mean, it's very basic build. How did that? Oh, I put a crit damage mod in by accident. So 55.5 crit chance, 81% crit damage. But like I said, you don't have to run these. The contractor's gloves seem to make sense because they give you LMG damage. But the foxes are up for swapsies to whatever you like. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Sorry that I've come across as a bit of a Debbie Downer on this. But I just kind of think that, yeah, that is really harsh. Really, really harsh. And it's a lot. It makes building to 50 stacks feel more like you're building to, you know, potentially like 100 stacks. It's that vicious and that violent. Anyway, that's going to be it for the video. Let me know what you think about tipping scales down below in the comments, as always, because this was the one set I was really excited for. So I really do hope it gets a change before it goes live. But with all that said, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.